Don't worry, Makoba. I'm just quickly thinking I'm going to have to change this picture because the students are going to laugh at me. Okay. So then the next one is safety needs. So safety needs is where I want to feel safe. Think of inside of your family, inside of your friends group. You want to feel safe inside of your house, for instance. And then the next one is love and belonging. So this is where we want to belong to a group of people, either through friendship or through family. This is where we also want to be in relationships, for instance. And then we have the esteem needs. So esteem is where we now start focusing on our self-esteem, feeling good about ourselves. So this is where we want to look at our own self-esteem, our own confidence. Just that, I mean, you know, that feeling like now that you got your marks, you passed, that feeling that you get there, that is your self-esteem. That is your self-esteem that that has grown a little bit. Okay, you want to be respected by others. And then the last one is self-actualization. So self-actualization can really be anything for anyone. It's not a particular black and white, this is what self-actualization is about. So self-actualization can be you want to have a specific car, or you want to stay in a specific area, or you've always wanted to go overseas, or you've always wanted to write a book, or you've always wanted to finish your qualification, for instance. Those are self-actualization. So it can really, really be anything. You want to be the first person in space. That will also be part of self-actualization. So what Alderfer then did with his ERG theory, he then went a little bit further. So the ERG, just so you know, stands for existence, relatedness, and then the growth needs. So what he essentially did is he just refined Maslow's needs a little bit. And when we look at the, we're going to start with the existence needs, and these are our most basic needs. So he said that our physiological, our safety and security needs are the most basic needs that we need to actually exist. And it makes sense because we need to breathe, we need food, we need water, we need shelter above us. We need to feel safe. Then he went on, and the next one is the relatedness. So the relatedness needs is our social and our esteem needs. So he said that this is the desire for interpersonal relationships. That is that belonging. We want to belong to someone. We want to be part of something. And the last one is the growth need. So once we have satisfied our existence needs, our relatedness needs, then we will only start focusing on our growth needs. And this is where we want to grow inside of ourselves. We want to accomplish something, essentially. So we now continue with his theory. What he also said, let me just go back. So what he also said is what essentially happens is that when you move from existence to relatedness needs, this will create a sense of satisfaction and progression inside of you. If you move back from relatedness to existence needs, or from growth to relatedness, this will result in frustration, regression. So think, for instance, of it. So let's say that you have always dreamed of being the first person in space, and that is here. This is part of my self-actualization need. You've been saving your money, you want to go to space, but now something happens. Someone is maybe bullying you at work. Now you go back to your esteem needs. So I've regressed back into my esteem needs. I first need to go and fix what's happening here at esteem needs. I need to first satisfy all of these needs that I have before I can focus on my self-actualization needs that I have. So every time you go back, you go down again. This is where regression takes place, and this is where frustration is. Okay, so imagine someone breaking up with you, for instance. Now you're going back to my social needs and to my love and belonging needs, because this is where I want to belong with someone again. I want to be with someone again. And only once you are happy around here will you start focusing on my esteem needs, start satisfying esteem needs, and then move back to self-actualization again. So another example that I always gave to the students in first semester is, you won't care about going to space, for instance, if you don't have a roof over your head, if you feel unsafe at night. Okay. And unsafe at night is here, safety and security. You won't care what someone says about you. You won't care about your self-esteem as much. You won't care about your self-actualization if you do not have a roof over your head. Okay, hundreds, Makoba.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Where's your daughter today? She's also attending my classes sometimes.
Yes, sometimes she attends, but now she's sleeping.
Oh, she's sleeping. Oh,
Yes.
shame. Okay. So the next one we're going to look at is Herzberg's two-factor theory. So what Herzberg essentially said is that he has maintenance factors and then he has motivational factors. So maintenance factors are not the factors that will act as a motivational factor, but the absence of them will have a negative effect on the morale of the particular job. So for instance, maintenance factors does not make you more motivated. Okay, it doesn't. So this is things like working conditions. If you had good working conditions, it doesn't really make you more motivated. It's just something that you are used to. But the absence of good working conditions. So if you have a horrible boss, you just working in a very dimly lit environment where everything always breaks, people are gossiping, the coffee is bad, that is going to affect your morale towards the position that you have. For instance, co-worker relationships, fighting, gossiping, policies and rules, supervisor quality, bad wage, a bad salary. So all of these things are going to make you negative. If they are present, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make you more positive. Okay, because you'll get used to it. You'll get used to the salary. You'll get used to the good, nice working conditions. You're not going to actually say to yourself, ooh, I actually have such great working conditions. Let me be more productive. It doesn't work like that. Okay. On the other hand, we have our motivator factors. So our motivative factors are mostly concerned, focused on the content of the job. These are the benefits. So over and above what you are already doing, what you are already receiving, these are those extra things that you are getting. They are not really a physical motivator. So it's more of a, let me quickly think, what's my word? It's more of a figurative motivator. So this, for instance, includes achievement, recognition. So someone, your boss saying to you, listen, I really loved your idea. It's such a cool idea. Or thank you so much for what you've done for the company. Responsibility, giving you more responsibility. You have to lock the office, for instance. I know the first time with my previous job, I always used to lock. Some Fridays I had to lock. The first time I locked, I felt like the most awesome person ever because I had keys. I had keys to the office. They gave me keys, and it was my responsibility to lock and to switch the alarm on. And it just makes you all gushy and warm inside. And then the work itself. So maybe you have very challenging work sometimes, and it just really intellectually stimulates you. I know that's how I felt. I can also tell you about the first time I could leave at 4 o'clock. I took a picture. I still have the picture of me leaving at 4 o'clock. I was so happy to leave at 4 o'clock. So it's the small things. It's the small things. When you start working, you'll see it's the small things. And then personal growth. So I can also give you an example here, for instance, of maintenance factors. So my husband is in labor law. And the other day he had a meeting with some of the employees, and they were complaining that the new management is giving them bad coffee. So they've changed the coffee, and they don't want that. They want the previous coffee that they had. So I'm not sure which coffee they had or what they are changing to. But yeah, they said they want the previous coffee. The previous coffee was better. And they said that they used to have biscuits and they want their biscuits again. Okay, so the fact that there was better coffee or the fact that there was biscuits doesn't make you more productive. You're not going to eat a cookie and then say, ooh, let me quickly go and reach that target. But the absence of it, the fact that there are no longer nice coffee and there are no longer cookies, now you are all of a sudden, that has a negative effect on your morale. All of a sudden you're like, this is not okay. I want those cookies back. Okay. So also what Harsberg has also done is, if you look here on the bottom, we have the motivational factors maintenance, and then Harsberg just essentially, if we break it, the motivational factors down, and we compare that to Maslow, you can see here that Maslow, for instance, recognition, status, achievement, this relates to your esteem needs. Okay, it makes you feel better. So if you go and look at our esteem needs, this is where our esteem needs are. Then the work itself, that increased responsibility that you're now getting, that is self-actualization. And then if we look at the maintenance factors, so remember, maintenance factors are the ones that, if the absence of it, will make you more negative. There we have our social belonging, safety, and our psychological. So psychological here, physiological, see, I'm also making the same mistake. Physiological is like job security. That's the most basic need. I can promise you, you will not even care about your self-esteem if you don't know if you're going to have a job tomorrow. Okay. You won't really care about going overseas if you don't have a job. It's really, really satisfying, that most basic need that we have as humans. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is McClelland. So what McClelland did is he went a step further, and he says that the needs that we have are learned and reinforced. So if you took a person from South Africa and you took a person from the middle of the Amazon, the person from South Africa will have certain needs, and the person from the Amazon won't have the same needs, because we have learned these needs. So what McClelland said is that we are not born with these needs. And the needs that we have, every time they are satisfied or every time they are left unsatisfied, those need is reinforced. Okay. So he states that every person has one of the three driving motivators. Remember, we are not born with them, and they develop through our culture and our life experience. Okay. It also includes, for instance, if you want to go into the psychology part of it, it includes the needs that your parents have satisfied, not satisfied. I always use this example where every single person is essentially, if you think of like a puzzle, so let's say it's a 50-piece puzzle, every person has some puzzle pieces missing. Every single person in this world has puzzle pieces missing. And depending on your culture and your life experiences, some people have more puzzle pieces missing than others, for instance. Okay. So what he said, we have three driving motivators, which is our need for achievement, the need for power, and then the need for affiliation. So the need for achievement is that you want to be successful, you want to excel, you want to be the best in everything. Then the need for power is the need to be influential, to control others. So you want to have that power over other people. And then the last one is the need for affiliation. So this is the need to have close and interpersonal relationships, and it's the need to be liked. So with this particular need, for instance, you will sometimes give up some of your own needs that you have just so that someone can actually like you, for instance. Okay. So how do we motivate our employees? First one, job design. How can we design the job so that the job is still challenging to the particular person that's going to do the job? Then we have employee involvement programs. So getting them involved, like corporate social responsibility, for instance, where they can actually make a difference. Then the management by objective strategy. So remember management by objectives. This is from first semester. And management by objectives is where you sit with your manager every single year, actually every 6 months, and you will write down certain objectives that you want to achieve inside of your position. And that's why you sit with your manager every 6 months, because your manager will then sit and say, okay, how far are you? What have you achieved? What have you not achieved? And that motivates you. Meeting those objectives is what motivates you. Then we also have entrepreneurial incentives. So coming up with a good idea, for instance, training and education. We have employee recognition programs. So recognizing our employees that did well. We have empowerment programs, reward systems. So rewarding our employees for instance, meeting their targets. And then the last one is career management. So if you, for instance, see an employee that is struggling in a specific career, it's just really not for him. How can we maybe move him to another job where it will just be better suited for him, essentially. Okay. So, Makoba, what I want you to do for me, I'm going to give you like 5 minutes or so. So remember we spoke about Lila and John. So Lila and John have now actually employed the employees. Remember, they wanted 2 baristas and 3 new waiters. So what methods do you think can they use to develop their new talent, so their new employees? And what do you think they can do to motivate their new employees? Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes, quickly think it over, and then we can chat about it.
Ma'am,
Yes?
can I also use the whole rewards thing as a motivation?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I just quickly want to just take a sip of water and then I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, Makoba, so what methods do you think we can use to develop our new talent?
Ma'am, I said they can have employee of the month. You know how um these companies like McDonald's, coffee shops, they have employees
Yeah.
of the month, and they can
Yeah.
also have performance bonuses. I don't know, maybe each year or month. I don't know.
Okay, so performance bonuses. So, do you think those are something that would motivate you?
It depends. In a coffee shop,
See, it's
yeah, it
difficult.
will motivate you.
It is
Did you get that,
difficult.
ma'am?
So sorry, I think we are lagging again. Okay, so and how can we develop our employees?
By making them better. Is that what you mean? Like, how can I make them better? When you say how do we
Yeah, because
develop them?
remember, yeah, we want our employees to remember they're only going to be with us for a little while, and we want to send them off to their new job better equipped than what they came to us, for instance. So, if you think, for instance, of like training programs, we can maybe send them on training to
Yes.
develop them. Training is actually the biggest one that we can use in order to train our employees. We can maybe have some. Remember, we spoke about the different like in-house and out-house of on-the-job training and away from the job training. So we can maybe have like job rotation, for instance, where maybe we have a waiter that wants to also become a barista. So we can have some job rotation. We can have some job shadowing as well. We can maybe send them to a seminar or just like a training that shows them how to work with customers or how to be a more creative type of barista. You know, like if you go to like Starbucks or those fancy coffee shops, they will sometimes put like a little heart on your cappuccino or a little teddy bear or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they didn't learn that just yesterday, they were practicing that. So, that's how we can develop the new talent.
But ma'am, is it not like, I don't know though, I'm just asking. Every company, do they not like make you go through like an induction program where they train you and before you can officially become an employee?
Yeah, they definitely do. But remember, some companies just have a very, very basic induction program. So you need to, for instance, if we take a coffee shop, you need to learn the menu um, and just know what the ingredients are inside of the different, let's say, sandwiches or cakes or whatever, and then that's it. So we on the one side we want to train them when they come into our company, but then we also want to develop them further because like I said earlier, we want them to leave better equipped than what they came in. Remember that they're not going to stay with us forever, so we can't keep them. We can't hold them and say you are mine forever, and no matter what you do, you always work here. And if you leave, I'm going to be super duper upset with you. We want them to become better because we want them to leave, okay, and to follow their own dreams. Remember that employees have their own dreams just as much as companies have their own goals and objectives they want to meet. The employee also has his own goals and objectives that he wants to meet. Imagine you stayed at Varsity College for the next 10 years.
Shoo,
Think about
no.
it. You understand? So that's why you came to study, because you're now a different person. You're better equipped than what you were when you started in first year. And that's what we want to do with a company, with our employees inside of a company as well. Do you understand better now? Makoba?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, my
Okay.
mic. I don't know why it takes time.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. So Makoba, let's quickly take like a 10-minute break. Let's quickly go get something to drink. And then we're going to come back and we will just quickly finish the different acts that is applicable inside of a company?
I hated this, by the way.
No,
Even in
it's
high
fine. This is what
school.
my husband does every day.
No, no, absolutely not.
He wanted to lecture the class, but I said no, he needs to go and work. He can't lecture the class today.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so
See you
basically
in
take a
10
break.
minutes.
Okay, hundreds. I'll see you now. Okay, bye.
Bye. Ma'am.
Hi, Makoba. Okay, are you not done? Have you not taken note of what they've taken?
Yes.
Aren't you scared of COVID though?
I am. I really am. But I sanitize, and also my brother, because we fumigate